Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of DYOR Live. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, otherwise known as the patron saint of the Stag community. Ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome here. It is February 22nd, 2024. Thank you for all of you guys joining us at the beginning of today's show and bombing us and showing us some love here at the beginning of the show. And as always, it's going to be a good show, but I got to talk about the other people in my life. And no, it's not Mrs. Striking. That's Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Pedro in the house.
What up, my people? How you all doing? It's good to see you guys. What's up?
They're going fucking nuts. Pardon my French.
Yeah, they are. Bomb it away, baby. Bomb it away. Give us some of that love. I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right, Pedro, give us the opening remarks while I try and get some other people than Stag in here in the room.
Most. Please, guys, hit that like, subscribe button if you don't mind. And please share us to your favorite social media platform. The one that your mother or sister and goes, why do you always share these things? And you're like, Mom, because it's the Bob Diggity, no doubt. Who's your daddy? What? So if you guys could do me a favor, also do us a favor. Please let me know where you are coming from or where you would like to be coming from. Right now, we all know. I just realized you guys probably can't hear me.
Yeah, you were low there. I was waiting to tell you to move your mic back to your mouth.
Yeah. So it was my bad. But in the same sense, if you guys could tell us where you are coming from or where you would like to be coming from. As we all know, I'm a Cali dude, and I would love to be on the beaches of San Diego drinking a Mai Tai or a Long Island iced tea or something of that nature while catching waves. Partly, if I could be there and then be able to fly over to Santorini, that would be great. Have a little villa up in like the white houses that they got going on over there, where I can build my own little, like, I was thinking about this.
I think you mean like northern Canada, where hunting grounds are huge and natural resources are available for people to come in from the Stag community and have a place to hang out. Isn't that what you really mean, Pedro? Not that we're trying to shill or pump anybody here.
Hey, man. If that's what you guys want, I do love a good outing of a couple weeks out in the woods. There's nothing like just getting away from society and enjoying that's open true. Nature.
There's no doubt about that. All right, I seem to have popped this into a bunch of TG rooms. You guys listening, take the link that however you found us from in your TG room and send it to your other favorite AMA rooms and that kind of stuff. And let's pump this crowd up and get the word out about the projects that we are talking about today. But my God, I've never seen the comment section explode like this at the beginning of the show here. I'm going to have to run through some of them here. Mr. B. Let's see, do I got the Stag token, Mr. B. Thank you for joining us, Mr. B. Jason, thank you for joining us once again, bringing your community here. Excited to hear what's coming today. So much good info. And Jason says,
He agrees. So much good information, man. Absolutely. He's like, dope, dude. I totally agree with you, my dude. Oh, snaps.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard not only Mrs. Striking's entrance, but the little yapper that we own. It's all right. Huddle says, DYOR Live, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go today, that's for sure. Shireen, I think I got that right. You guys are awesome. Really impressed with Tom's new project, Stagcoin. All right, guys, you can't whore me out that easily. You gotta at least kiss me if you're gonna do that. Space Cat, welcome to the show, Space Cat. Space, the final frontier. Matt Rhodes, good to see you're in the house. Matt, thank you very much. All these new people showing up here, really appreciate it. Lord Baltimore, I got to tell you, Lord Baltimore just needs some evil sound, like.
Yes.
Lord Baltimore is in the house because it kind of sounds like Lord Baltimore, right? From Harry Potter. So it sounds evil. So Lord Baltimore's gonna get that. Tom, the face of Stag. Great. Boom, Stag Army. All right, I'm our great patron. And if you noticed, I worked the patron saint comment into my opening line. Jason's from Florida. Jason, Mrs. Striking and I spend a lot of time in Florida, from St. Louis, Fort Lauderdale, all the way up to Amelia Island, where my parents live. Not in the swamp. That's not for sure. For sure. Andy Wilson, thank you for joining us very much. There's just too many comments to put up here. Stag Farm represented. Stag.
What's up, Andy? Good to see you.
Well, I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, I can't go wrong when dropping a big crowd like this here. Thank you, everybody.
Charles,
Mr. P's safe moon is pumping hard today. Does that mean John Corey is pumping iron in prison? Is that what that means?
Actually, you know what? Let's check it out to see if it.
All right, Jason says, yesterday you talked about Jasmy. Do you provide a contract address for people learning? We'll get to Jasmy in a little bit when Pedro starts going over stuff. But at the beginning of the show, we always just like to... I delayed it today because we had so many comments. But we would like to just get right into Bitcoin and get some alpha about Bitcoin and what's going on in that market. So, Pedro, what is going... You got the debt clock up, but there we go. There's the mighty beast.
The beast. Mr. Beast. A.K.A. Taylor Swift, a.k.a. BTC, baby.
There is not a YouTuber
Swift.
out there right now that doesn't take some time to mention Taylor Swift and hit that algorithm button. That's for sure.
Why would you not? It'd be silly for you not to do that. So we've actually, again, we're right in this consolidation period right now. What's really interesting though,
these stag guys crack me up, man.
And I have to admit, they are really funny. Actually, if you could put my face down to the lower left-hand corner,
yeah,
that would actually be right above the.
Just started drawing a mustache on instead.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you can see, just put it. Make sure it's still above the.
All right, let me find you here.
Okay. So the reason I want to bring this up here real quick. So we're sitting here right now, and we're kind of going sideways here with BTC. BTC right now is doing a lot of sell up, and we're also seeing a lot of buying as we're selling off. So it's really interesting to sit there and look at these periods of these sell-offs, but then we do see buyers coming back in. So it's one of those things that I always talk about. I want to see defense against the sellers, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're actually seeing on like a smaller time frame, and this is the 5-minute, every time it sells off, and then we see it come back, right? And those are called what we call buyer wicks that I communicate quite a bit about. The buyer wicks are what dictate really what's actually happening.
Not to interrupt you, but it took me a while to understand what you're talking about the buyer wicks and the different wicks. And obviously, everyone knows what a wick is. One would think, but in reference to both buying up and selling down in the past, not necessarily in the current thing, but in my camera doesn't allow me to go up that high, but in history also.
Yes, and so in the same sense, and let me put it here real quick. So a buyer wick is basically when you see a sell-off of the market. So at one point in time, this candle right here was all red, right? It looked like this, but reversed, right? It was red. And then what happened was the buyers stepped in and pushed the market back up, which means that they are defending the price movement of this upward movement. And so when I see something like that, it indicates to me there are real buyers sitting here. So we're consolidating right here. I expected us to actually come up to the highs of 59,000 to the 57,000 for BTC. But as we can see here, we're holding off right here. So it's this little area here has stopped, and I thought we were going to push through this. And normally I'm not caught off guard when it comes to
there was unexpected resistance there. We were talking about it last week, and I was like, I don't see anything stopping this. And man, it came to a halt.
Yep. Like an old lady crossing the street with a baby car. You know what I'm saying? Like just
her grocery cart.
Grocery cart. All right. And so it's one of those things that we did kind of go sideways. So when that happens, I got to go and see what's going on with the actual shorts and longs. So let's check it out. These are the longs, the actual BTC longs that are actually being placed in the actual spot market. The spot market is literally people buying the actual coin versus, let's say, the futures market, which is the
Crypto Mike, welcome to the house. Sorry, Pedro.
What up, Mike? Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Also, I saw Jensen over there too. Doctor up at the very top. So, hey, Doctor, how you doing? Got to also shout. We got all the new people, and look forward to the new people becoming the good old regular guys in the bar. Right? It's like Norm. If you know
Norm, that's right. Norm, what's up? My ideal weight if I was 11 feet tall.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely love that.
Mr. B, I agree with you. This channel is fun. We try to have fun in it, so we're not just one of those wonkety-wonk guys. Wah, 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 wah. And the December 31st options came in at just under its state of volatility. Wah, wah,
tasty trades, dude.
Yeah,
dude, I would love to have. Dude, I respect that dude so much, though. He is a legend in the field, bro.
Yeah,
he is called the market. So he's been in it for 30+ years, 40+ years, I believe. So respect to him. But he's a little boring, though. He need to liven his stuff up. Anyways, so I put this up here real quick. So we're seeing longs actually get out of the market, which means that people who would normally have bought in the market are selling off. So it's one of those things. We put in a lower high, now a lower low. But yet, when we go through and we want to see what's going on with the shorts are not stepping in. I talked about this 2-3 days ago where the shorts had actually risen. I was like, you know what, they're kicking up, but they're watching the charts and they're going, what's going on? You could see there's a little indecision with them. Like they put in their shorts and then they drop it. They put in their shorts and they're dropping it. So it's a really interesting thing. We're in this little holding period of we're seeing people who have longs sell off the longs, and then we're seeing shorts sitting there going, we're a little timid, because they have gotten their face kicked in quite a bit over the last year. Like straight up, like every time they go live.
Everyone getting their face kicked in the past year in this market. Jesus.
Like they're ripping it off. So it's one of those things. So this is where we're sitting here. If we are going to see it come back down, I expect to see it come down to that 48,000 to the 45,000 area. Like I've talked about this, we have that weekly chart sitting right here, which is sitting about that 45,000, which is the lower end of this zone that I've talked about. So I want to see it come back down to here as we're moving, which would be another buy point, I think, for Michael Saylor. We do see a sell-off. Because as we all know, what do we see coming in this blue line? This blue line is the sign of the halvening. Is it halvening? Halvening?
Yeah, we're not going to start that argument. It's like potato, no? Or the old tomato. Aluminum and those Brits screw it up with the aluminium.
Aluminium. Anyways, so
in Canada, they call what's the car here? We call it in the US. We call it a Mazda. They call it a Mazda or something like Mazda or something like that. It's really, you're like, no. Even the Japanese call it Mazda, and they're like, I can't wrap my head around these Canadians.
The Canucks. What are they Canucking?
It's called here in Kanukistan. It's like much of the country is cold, like the stands, and not much going on. So I call it Kanukistan. Amazingly, that term takes off like wildfire, and then other people in TG now use it.
Oh snaps! So, in the same sense, let's talk about here. I'm expecting to see some type of sell-off, at least down to this level, and then to see it continue all the way up to this level that we've been talking about here, or we see it hold steady here. Okay, if we hold at this doji sitting right here for this
welcome,
week,
Drano.
What up, Drano? Wait, were you gonna?
Derek,
play
welcome to the house, Derek.
Lawton.
Ka-ching! No, we haven't seen Lawton yet.
Oh, we haven't seen Lawton yet. Lawton! Oh, man, that's funny. And please hit that like button and subscribe button and share button if you don't mind. Let's go ahead and look here real quick. So I'm going to finish this last little bit up before we move forward. So this right here, if we stay at this level and we finish off with a nice little doji candle here, which is basically if it closes right up in these levels here that we're seeing, I expect us to see a rally into next week. I do. We'll first come down first on Sunday and Monday, and then most likely Tuesday and Wednesday go sideways, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday see it peak up over here. So it depends on what we do at the finishing up. We're coming to a close of this week, and it's coming back. We're seeing them defend this area that I'm talking about with a lot of these buyer wicks sitting here. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. If we don't, we're coming back down to this area here. So really interesting to see what happens. All right, so that's it in a nutshell for what I see with BTC, aka Mr. Beast, aka Taylor Swift.
What's her boyfriend's name? Something Kelsey.
Dude, oh yeah, we gotta do his name too. We gotta do something about that.
I gotta tell you, I was doing the old wake up routine this morning, and
Yeah.
you know, you check your phone, your partner checks the phone. All of a sudden, out of Mrs. Striking's phone, I hear like a scrolling short, and Taylor Swift and Kelsey, whatever his name is, or something, arrives in Australia, and press is going crazy, and girls are they're fainting on the tarmac, and all kinds of stuff, and before a big show, and then they went out shopping and had dinner, and I was like, I went a whole 10 days since the Super Bowl of not having to hear anything about them, and then I hear it in the morning.
You know, I be careful, man. Miss Striking there. There's a reason why her name is Miss Striking.
No,
I don't want to see it. Mrs.
And I have a cup here that says Mr.
Mrs.
Just so we're all clear.
Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. I don't want to see just a punch coming from the left-hand side of that. Bam! Down goes Tom, and I got to take over. Anyway.
All right, well, we got a big crew here today, so I'm gonna change things up a little bit.
Lawton is here.
Lawton did her friend Kermit Frog. I'm gonna change things up a little bit. The topic of the show today. A lot of times I struggle for things to talk about, but Worldcoin has been making the news lately, and somewhat controversially. And so we're gonna talk about that later. But I'm going to get to more of the community participation stuff here today. So we're going to switch things up. I like to do a lot of these other charts and stuff that later in the show, kind of to drag people along, have a good discussion, then hit the good information later so they stick around. But we got a lot of you guys in here now talking about it. What time is it wherever you guys are? Drano, I'm in the Eastern time. Pedro is 2 in the U.S., so we're UTC -5. Just getting Taylor Swift mention in. Yes, thank you very much, Chuck.
Thank you for the super chat there, good sir. Appreciate that quite a bit.
Chuck, look at you.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Do the cheer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Jansen here with the super chat. Thank you very much. I need the video reaction to work too. I've been working on that. It still doesn't work yet. But thank you very much, Chuck. Appreciate it. Super chats, they add up after time, and we're gonna throw one big party in Vegas soon. No, just kidding. We're gonna use it to promote the show and bring more good stuff to you guys, everybody. But thank you, Chuck. I really appreciate it. Chuck, you donated yesterday on Super Chat Tuesday. Apparently, you've turned today into, or 2 days ago. You've turned today into Super Chat Thursday, so thank you very much.
Very much, thank you.
And it's 5:40 p.m. here in Scotland. Scotland!
It's crap. Look at the size of his melon.
Chuck's got the bucks, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck's got the bucks. The doctor is in the house. Doctor must have been successful yesterday at mining fiat, as he says. All right, Pedro, since we're going to change it up a little bit, let's talk about these things that were pumping the past few days. Earlier, someone asked about Jasmy. How about bringing the Jasmy chart back up? Absolutely. And let's see where that is.
Jasmy. All right, so Jasmy, as you guys can, we've talked about this. We were looking for it to hit this area of supply here. And sure enough, today we came up, we hit it, we tapped it. And we're tapping a bit of a sell-off. Tap-a-roo. So we're hitting a little tappage right here, and I expected to see. Now it depends, right? And this all depends on a couple things. One, when it comes to the sell-off and then the buyback, the defense. do we see more buyers than sellers as stepping as we see a sell-off? Do I see buyer wicks as it's continuing down, right? Like I always talk about here, and I'm going to make this into a support area here because previous highs become typically support. So it's really important to be able to pay attention to these places that get just decimated. Like this has got decimated. So typically it will come back. Like I normally, like as you can see, my areas hit pretty well, and you see a pretty good sell-off. And so this is where when it gets decimated, typically that area then becomes, it has to take a lot of volume to push through. And you can see here, we saw a lot of volumes and compared it to what we had seen in the past, right? Like here, what we had seen to this push through right here. Oh, what just happened to you, dude? Where's my volume at? You don't want to come. Don't you want to go to your home? And it decided, dude, I don't understand why TradingView does that. They're such douches that time, bro.
Mr. B, are you sure it's 340 in the UK? If it's 540 in Scotland, I don't know if it's 340 in the UK. That seems to be contradicting. Aren't you guys on UTC on GMT 0 right now? Go home, Paul, Mr. Oh, you guys did.
All right, so as you guys can see here, we blew through this with a ton of volume, and as you can see here, as we're continuing, we're seeing volume step in. We're seeing a bit of a sell-off at this area of 2 cent to the 118, like I talked about yesterday. And so I would expect us then to come back and retest the daily 8. This is where this is sitting at. So this daily 8, we should see some form of test of this demand area. Plus the fact is that we have a pretty good demand we have nice moving average sitting right here. So that's a really, really good sign for me to sit there and say this is support with a pretty good supply area. And we have decent demand where we have a pretty good demand area right here. So I look at that going, okay, if we do see a sell-off, wait for that sell-off to come back down here. So if you're looking to purchase and get more of Jasmine, get Jasmine about this level here, about that 1 or 0.01059 to that 0.00857. Potentially, we could see it come back down to here and rally up into these other levels here. So there you go, guys. That's about it in a nutshell.
All right. The crowd is going a little berserk here. So
let's get it.
Let's bring up the stag chart. Unless you guys don't want to see it, because you already know it, but you may not want to hear what Pedro has to say about it. I don't know if you've looked at the stag chart lately, Pedro, but it's a little different.
Okay, well, let's just see what happens there. Sometimes life happens, dude. It's okay. Life happens. Nothing wrong with that. All right, boom. Oh, snappity snap.
Oh, snap. That's right.
All right, here we go. All right, so we saw it come back down, hit that 50-period moving average. Did not get down to our level here. So this is actually a good thing. And the fact that you had a huge amount of buyers stepping in, like again, I'm always talking about volume because that indicates to me really who's stepping in and if it's going to continue. And sure enough, it just blew away. So that's amazing. It's really, really good. It's actually really good. That is the community, and to see it sell off on that hour chart and to get it buying back. See, I don't like something like this. This is not good. When I look at a chart and I see just that blue, or that green candle push up.
You got to expand that. It's hard to see on people's devices here.
All right. So I don't like this type of thing, but this right here, all day long, I'll take this. That means sellers some big whale tried to sell off and everybody else bought up. So that's a good sign to be able to sit there and see what's actually happening on that. We do have and if
stagflation. Oh, Dara, you must be an OG like the rest of us to remember stagflation. But now it has a double entendre meaning now with the stag guys in the house.
So we can sit there and see some movement here. Now the biggest key is what are we seeing on the daily chart, and how is it looking? Right, so on the daily chart, we came back and we tested this nice little 8-period moving average, right? So we sold off, came down into these lower levels here, and then now we saw a good little push up. Then now it came back down and it's testing that 8-period moving average. So that's a good sign. That's what we want to see. That's exactly what we want to see. The next thing that we want to see now is if it's going to push up, okay, we need to see it bounce and hold the support of that 8-period moving average. That 8-period moving average is ranging between $2.07, 7 cent there, $2.0715. And I would look down to come down into this area here. Let me put this area here. This is where it's going to be.
Arjan, sorry, we'll get to you in a little bit. Pedro does follow ICP, and he'll go over that
Absolutely.
Shortly.
Yeah, ICP's been killing it, bro. I'm like, yeah. Boom. So this is another area here that you can look to get in between. If you don't want to capture this movement and you want to wait for some type of sell-off, this is where you want to get into. So again, and I like I always talk about, I like having 2 positions, 3 positions, so I can dollar cost average into a position, right? And so I can sit there and say, so maybe throw in 40% into this level somewhere in between here, and then your 60% into this level here. This defense is really nice. I love seeing something like that. And then also you have another positional area where I would like to, I would look, if you're going to get into this upper position, I'd get down into these lower areas ranging from like the 1.68 so that you can really capture when people start to push higher and we start to see some big fat movements here. You can sit there and capture and take off, some profit while it's moving up, right? And so you can capture the lows and highs so you can add to your moon bag, right, is what you're looking for.
Well, we were talking in the stag room earlier, is that their moon bag is might not be that far away because there's not that many tokens in this project. I didn't ask is how many decimals you guys have. Are you 9 or 18 decimal project? But there's only like 5,000 of them left. There's not a lot of them, or something weird like that. It's a very low number. And so as PancakeSwap starts losing volume, not losing volume, but coming down in volume, that price is going to start going up. And one of you guys, I can't remember which one, even ran it through ChatGPT to come up with a graph of, volume left, price, and estimated market cap. And it got it close. It didn't get it right, but let's see. Tom's side gig subbing in for Vanna White. Yes, I was. While you were talking about that, I was back on the chart doing the Vanna White moves.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
1/100th of a stag is called a point because the stag points on the antlers. Oh, boo.
That's funny.
18. All right, well, you guys got to just remember that 18 is what, a quadrillion? No, that's 21. 18 is a trillion. So you got it. So there's a, for every 1 point, for every token, there's 18 trillion tradable units. So if there's only 1 token left, you can start going into the trillions. That's the same argument we talk about here about Bitcoin. They're like, there's only 21 million. No, there's 2.1 quadrillion. Actually, if you think about 100 million satoshis per Bitcoin, so that means there's that many tradable units. Now, obviously, the price would be high, but there's tradable. There's way more. It's like when people are talking, the original guys talking about SafeMoon. Oh, we're going to burn it all the way down. We're going to have blah, blah, blah. SafeMoon had what? They were at, was it a quintillion or a quadrillion? But they also had 18 zeros. So a quadrillion plus 18 zeros, they had, a septillion amount of tradable units. They never could have burned that to where it would have affected the price at all. It just, there's no way. Remember, all this is just math, ladies and gentlemen. For all you guys that are mathematicians out there, you're just nodding your head going, note, I am not a mathematician, but I understand this. All right, Pedro, we talked about Stag enough. Once again, the disclaimer, I am an investor in Stag, and I am not telling anybody to buy it, and nor is Pedro telling anybody to buy it. We're just telling you what the chart says, and nobody has paid me anything to talk about them.
What the chart Pedro says to how I perceive it, because other people may see it different.
Right.
Right. And if you, we really do need to go through and start watching. I want to keep a statistics to sit there and say, all right, this is what we said. Let's see if it came true. I want to see what my statistic is. I mean, for regular trading, I have a pretty good statistic.
One sec, I'll be right back.
That's right. So actually, let's check out here real quick Worldcoin as well, because Worldcoin, we talked about we talked about Worldcoin a while back ago, and
My mister got noticed on me here. Oh yeah.
where are we at? Give me 1 second. Where is it at? Worldcoin. Nope. Sorry. Watch list. Here we go. Let's check out the Worldcoin here. We talked about this a while back ago, about 3 weeks ago, saying, like, I don't like it. I hope it fails, but it is. And it was looking weak, but it was starting to show some strength. And I said potentially this thing could explode here real quick, based off what's actually happening with the volume stepping in. And if it does, we could see it go kind of almost parabolic. But I made the reference. I really don't want to see it do that, primarily because I don't agree with what.
I know that'll be the topic in a little bit, but I agree with that. I don't like how they're going about this. So that's the Worldcoin chart.
Yes.
Well,
Bro, we talked about it.
We talked about it back here, that it was going to pump.
Yeah.
Like,
and I said there was nothing in its way.
What's the price difference between here, where we talked about it, and where it is today? I got a tippy toe that one.
Yeah. We'll move this over here for you. It was at $2.35 area here. And it started to show, and this is where I was saying, see how. And this is what I was bringing up, is that as we were moving up, we were hitting these moving averages, and we were hitting them pretty hard. And around here, once I started seeing that, we started seeing green volume step in, while red volume was decreasing. That's a huge indication for me to simply say, all right, look, we're already above these moving averages sitting here. Okay. These are flat, which means that we should see this thing be able to push through this easily. And that's exactly what happened. And it literally shot up all the way from around $2 when we look at it to $8. It's almost hitting $9 now. I think it peaked at $8.90. So it's one of those things. I'm sitting there going, man, like, I don't know. Because they will literally want to take everybody's pupil and be able to give everybody a world, a basic income, which is okay. But you have to give them your iris. Literally, you have to give them a picture of your iris, and they're going to, and they've said that they're going to stop that and try to pull that away. But I don't think, because they're going to give you literally money. Like, they're giving you money to live. And so,
I've been having my mic screwed up, and you guys caught me saying sweet nothings to the missus over here.
Yes, I thought it was.
And then it was also on mute now when I had it reversed when I was talking. Oh, very nice. But here, let me bring this up here. I might as well talk about it now. So I switched the screen to the Worldcoin screen. And one of the things that what I disagree with is going on with this Worldcoin thing is this on their website. They have the globe, and because I'm using Brave under full permissions right now, it's not allowing JavaScript to work right, so it won't spin the globe. But thankfully, it showed up here where their concentration of people using their product, or at least getting the orb scanned. And you'll notice that it's all in the low-income areas of the world. And they're basically bribing kids all over the world with their futures, I might add. I realize everything's tracked now in biometrics and all that, but these kids at age, whatever, in every country they do it, it's different. Like some it's 13, some it's 18, are for $5 or $20 or whatever it is. They're scanning their irises. And notice in India, it's just blammo. And what I didn't realize is this little part over to the east of India, that's also India. I thought that was, really? Yeah, I didn't realize India went way over there. We had a viewer the other day that pointed that out to us. But down here in Papua New Guinea, in Indonesia, if I'm getting this globe right here, and that type of stuff, and and then it looks like the south of Thailand and Cambodia or whatever that is down there. And if you can see way over in the corner in Latin America, down there in Brazil, and looks like just north of Brazil, probably one of the Guyanas or something like that. It's just taken by storm. They're doing it like crazy. They're scanning people's eyeballs, and it's. Oh, I guess that's not Latin America. That's Africa over there. So whoever's in Eastern Africa there, Tanzania, what's up there, Eritrea or something. I don't know. Can't look at that one. Figure that one out right away. But anyway, they're taking advantage of young kids, and they're gathering their biometrics for all over the world. And those kids, once your biometrics are out, they're out. You know, they're out, and now they're going to be on the blockchain. You know, and they'll be anonymized and all this kind of stuff. But someday someone's going to come around and roll that up and link everything on the blockchain to everyone that got scanned and all this kind of stuff. Does anybody just say, okay, let's let the whole world trust Sam Altman? No.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone like that. I wouldn't trust anyone with that kind of power. Right. And they've signed up. Now. Now, I see what they're trying to do with their the World ID and that type of stuff, the passport and all that. And they're integrating, let's see, where is it? Sovereign and Open Protocol, World ID levels, enhanced security, World ID device, World ID orb, how to get World ID. Let's see, sorry. I'm looking for the article, and they talk about all the different companies that they've, including Telegram.
Integrated.
That you're going to be using it for. And what's if all you wizards out there can talk about what's the one problem with having like one big company controlling, access to all these types of things all over the world? If something goes wrong, what happens? You're a non-person. You're a non-person. If everything is a digital ID, they say, well, if that digital ID is not working, the default, you're screwed. It's not. These systems should be set up so if the digital ID is not working, you're still a person and can do whatever you need to do. There's got to be a way to do that. But they default into saying you can't do anything. It's like in the U.S. where your driver's license expires, all of a sudden you're not allowed to drive. But you're like nothing changed. Nothing at all changed. You're still a skilled driver. Just some computer, Unix time went from one to the other, and all of a sudden you're and you go to the store, and some stores say, well, your license expired, you can't buy beer, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm over 50 years old, I can buy beer, and they're like, well, no, your license is expired. I'm like, well, what does that have to do with it? I'm still old enough. And they're like, you're a non-person, and so that's the trouble with these things, and I really disagree with it. If there were 700 of these things or 1,000 of them, and you could have 5 of them or 10 of them. So if one didn't work, like credit cards. Like if you have one credit card or one debit card, and all of a sudden, like it had happened here in Canada last year, one of the internet backbones went down. So everyone that used a certain flavor of credit card couldn't get any money, or used their internet on their phone, so they had no Bitcoin either. You're screwed. But if you have multiple of them, then it works. To think that the world's going to set up thousands of world IDs right now is just ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing, and this is the part. Okay. People, we don't feel it here in the United States right now, and a lot of the first world countries do not. Bless you. But a lot of the world is starting to suffer, which I keep talking about, the impending crash that's coming. And a lot of the world is experiencing that already. Like they are finding it hard to just survive simple means. And the Worldcoin knows this. They have all the information that I have, if not more. And I'm a lay person that's just sitting there putting the numbers together. And I sit there and very much they know that a lot of the US numbers are falsified and switched and and literally changed from the first initial number to the actual real number, which comes out 3-4 months later, right? After it's all settled, right? So they already have that. So on the back end, they sit there and they know that the rest of the world is already, they know that there's a slowdown in Africa, that there is a slowdown in China right now as we speak, a slowdown, and America is scrambling to build real infrastructure in Mexico, trying to figure out a way to be able to get things moving. So they know if they can push us hard enough, and then the crash happens and nobody has food, right? All of a sudden, you can come on, and here's this, here's that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but we're at a point where it's like stuff's about to hit the fan, and the rest of the world is already feeling it. Besides the first world countries. And so I think they will. I think they will bring people in. I mean, just look at the idea of South Africa bringing and pushing the stablecoin. Same thing with the UK. UK is pushing the stablecoin, regardless of what their people wants. They're just doing it. So there's this discussion. There's a discussion that should be had that they're not necessarily listening. Now, some places around the world where they are akin to a civil war. They're kind of backtracking because they're like, we don't want to get, we don't want to get ousted. So,
right, exactly. Yeah, they had a couple of countries push back against it.
Yeah.
Lord Baltimore says that's why they're rolling out the CBDC Mark of the Beast program. Yep, I got you on that. A CBDC combined with a World ID would be basically the end of freedom.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. They wouldn't do that to us.
No,
they wouldn't try to control us and to tell us what we can eat, like bugs and plant-based meat. They wouldn't. I'm just playing. But I mean, it's funny the stuff that I'm saying. I mean, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that would be nuts. I would think I'm like.
All they have to do is just to say, well, we'll also control bourbon and weed, and in the whole earth, this shit would hit the fan.
Yeah, it would. You're right.
Out with everyone. The Boston Tea Party. The whole thing would start again. Right?
Absolutely.
Get rid of those CBDC chumps. Let's just have CBD oil instead.
You know what, bro? That's a well played. That's actually really good.
Stagcoin will see how this works. Stagcoin will save you. Free access to a hunting ground equals access to food. Yeah, and after a couple of million people try to get on your grounds, they'll be shooting each other.
Free food, man.
Yeah, free food. Oh, look, thighs. No, that doesn't look like a deer. It looks like Lord Baltimore.
Is that Venice? Is that or is that veal? No, that's not. That's human.
Ooh, a little gamey. All right. All right, Pedro, we got everyone going here, but we see our point about Worldcoin and all that. It's pumping like crazy. Let me turn my screen off, put your screen back on, and maybe we'll talk about it at the end of our show again here. But what do you see from the chart perspective? I may have missed you saying this while I was saying sweet nothings to Mrs. Striking. What do you see in the future for the chart coming up here?
Honestly, now at this point, there's nothing to really stop. There is no resistance here. Worldcoin is literally at free state, and so at this point, it's like it can go into parabolic mode. We could see this.
Drano, we'll get to you in Mainnet Z in a minute.
We could see it double because it broke through the $4 resistance level here that I had. Right, we blew right through, and I took it down the other day or not the other day, but I think a couple days ago when we talked about this, because we blew right through this area, and now it's. Look, you can see they try to have one day of a sell-off. This was on Monday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. And I expected to see some type of sell-off, right, to come down to these lower levels here. But we didn't even do that. I don't know who it is. And listen, there's big money backing this. This isn't like, right, like, and no offense to Stag, right? Stag, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But you don't have central banks backing you. Right? Like this is central bank. This potentially could be central banks. This is the World Economic Forum money. This is the World Fund. What is that? The World Fund. I remember what it's called.
And it's also the Sam Altman fund. I mean, he's got $20 billion now, or some crazy number like that.
Yeah,
you can just say,
and he's trying
put $500 million into this, no problem.
Well, he's trying to raise $7 trillion.
I know, $7 trillion.
$7 trillion.
Yeah,
not
think about
7
that.
billion, not 700 million, 7 trillion. Do you know that that's what we owe the U.S. to all the world? Like literally, excuse me, it's 7.9 trillion is what we owe. So out of this U.S. debt right here, right, that 34 trillion that we have, the money that we owe people is about $8 trillion. Okay, the rest of it we owe each other here in America because government workers,
right,
all that other stuff. That a lot of this goes to that current money, right? And so this right here, $8 trillion. Okay, what we owe, America owes the world. Sam Bankman, or not Sam, that's funny. Sam Bankman.
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman.
Too many
right?
tech guys with similar names.
Yeah, Sam Altman. SA. I'm just gonna start calling him SA. SA is literally asking for this almost 1 trillion less, give and take. Dude, that is nuts. And it was crazy when you sat there. Did you watch the video when he asked for it? And the guy kind of looked at him real quick, like, wait, what? They just like his composure was pretty good as he was talking to the Dubaian tech leader. Like he was sitting there and he was like, we're just looking for $7 trillion. Just, and the guy was like looked at him like,
They're like,
bro, what? Like,
is this shit on? What you talking about, Willis?
Dude,
I mean, you young guys get that one.
Dude, what you talking about, Willis? Like this stuff was nuts. Worldcoin, buy a coin, give us your iris, and we'll give you back some of your fiat. Now we have your cash and your eyeballs. Sweet deal. Yeah, Lawton, you nailed it. Like Lawton, Sam Altman freed.
Switch out the eyeballs. Be like Terminator.
Dude, it's legitly, it's crazy. Got room in my portfolio for all size and types of projects. Diversity is key. I agree with that. And that's the thing, right? Like, I fight with these things because it's, man, like, it's just, it's to me, it's scary, right? Because this is real stuff. Like, this is dystopian, real life stuff that could...
Totally, man. It totally is. And most of the world doesn't give a shit. It totally is. All right, let's take a quick social media break. Thank you, everybody watching us. I want to shout out to the people on LinkedIn right now. You guys on LinkedIn, drop a comment or two. There's a bunch of you watching right there. Really appreciate it. We get a nice crowd over there. We get a lot of replays on LinkedIn. Why, I don't know. People must find this entertaining of some sort. But thank you very much for watching. It would really help if you engaged with us, followed us, liked, set the notifications, all that usual stuff. And of course, engage in the conversation. We really appreciate, we're obviously an interactive show here. We pander to the crowd a lot here. I mean, it's just, Stag, Operation Phoenix, Stag, Mainnet Z. Not that we're doing any. We still have to pander to Mainnet Z in a little bit, but thank you for all you joining us. And the two people that were over watching on Kick, we enjoy it. And we stream on Twitch because Twitch has an app that you can put in the background and still multitask on the phone and hear us. So just so you know, if you're watching on YouTube and you have to go do your work email or something like that, obviously come back to YouTube. Participate, but if you need to listen to us in the background, you can always use either the Twitch app or the LinkedIn app, and those still play in the background, unlike YouTube and Chrome now, which likes to gather up premium money to do that. So that's that, and of course, thank you to the whole crowd that showed up here right at the start. From what group is that? Stogies? Stanleys? At the start for this, really appreciate kicking the show off fun like that. It sets the tone for the whole thing, and we just have a good time.
Absolutely.
And here, fun fact, Striking here drove a 2004 Tahoe for a long time. Used to be my dad's, and then where I used to work at a paint shop, so the guys painted it flat black. It was matte black, and I had black steel wheels on it. And I had this brush guard on it that was from the police supply people that was meant for the guys in Montana when they're driving 100 miles an hour and they hit a deer or an elk or something like that. So it wasn't just like your little fancy brush guard you get at the dealer. It was some serious shit. It was awesome, and it was called the Deer Slayer. That's what it was called, the Deer Slayer. And I hit a Mitsubishi one day really hard. And it turned it into a compact Mitsubishi. And it was awesome. And then as they say, Striking Junior came around, and it was time for him to drive. And I had another car too, so I was like, all right, he's driving back and gonna be driving back and forth to university and all this type of stuff. I'm gonna give him the Tahoe, so he can move crap around. And the Deer Slayer did its job with a light pole. And you guys at Stag will know when something of weight hits something hard, it's going to collapse. Like either a fast-moving bullet hits Bambi, or the Deer Slayer on the front of the Tahoe hitting a light pole, and the Tahoe was no mas. No mas, el muerto, el caro, and el junkyardo. It was the fun fact about the deer. They drove around for 10 years with what we called the Deer Slayer, and it was actually the light pole slayed it. Can we send a Stag to the moon if we hit 1 billion market cap? Literally, you can go to SpaceX and fill out a form to have one of their salespeople call you to buy space on it. And there's even brokers out now. There's brokers who broker the space on SpaceX and all these other ones that are doing it now.
For real?
So you can say, literally, you and I could call them up and say, how much for, 2 cubic inches, blah, 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 and they'd get you a price.
Oh, I am so down.
Let's take a brief moment of silence for the Deer Slayer. If I had known I was going to say that, I would have a picture of it, but it's all V'd in and stuff. They're designed, to be honest, it was designed to take a blunt impact across the whole thing. Think physics, and it had all these absorption, basically panels that would collapse and compress, just like your car does when you get in an accident. But it hit a light pole that was in very deep concrete, so all the force went into one area, just whoop, and it drove the engine back into the passenger compartment. So, thankfully for airbags, the Striking Jr. was not hurt. Another Phoenix dip. Enjoy your lunch. Oh, well, buy the dip, as they say. Deer Slayer, Deer Striker. Let's see. What is everyone else saying here? All right, well, that's a good social media break. I'm going to take 2 seconds to talk about... maybe 2 seconds, 20 seconds to talk about our sponsors here. Down below me, you see Camuso CPA. Patrick Camuso. Before I say that, before the logo switches, we've got DeFi Dojo here. If you're not part of the DeFi Dojo Lounge, go find it. Go find it over there. We're going to be doing some sponsored segments from them and some of their AMA people sometime soon, as soon as people sign up for that. But go see JB over there and tell him that Striking sent you to the DeFi Dojo, formerly called the Ninja Lounge, and but they had to change it for various reasons. So looking forward to doing work with them. Camuso CPA, if you've got crypto tax problems here in the U.S., get a hold of Patrick Camuso. Go in the link below, click the link, find them, say DYOR Media sent you. And of course, as always, our main sponsor here, Audit Chain. Audit Chain, which is a disruptor technology in the financial reporting for public companies, and auditing that and making sure that they're holding them to standards. And there's all new information coming out on it. I got to do a whole new bit about it for the commercial here. But go to auditchain.finance. Their token is a very low liquidity token used for governance. And if you buy a little bit of it, just a little bit of it, you will be able to use their validating nodes to check on public companies and that type of stuff. Not telling you to invest in it, but their token is used for gas in order to power their validator nodes. That type of stuff. So thank you, Audit Chain. Pedro, let's get back to the interesting stuff and talk about some charts and things like that. I'm gonna take 1 minute to refresh my tea, so go to it.
It's really interesting. So Nigeria actually blocked Kraken, Binance, and Coinbase to actually do business within their actual organization. And I sat there, and it's like half the time, man, I sit there and I'm like, why do countries do that? Because they lose. I mean, I get it that they want to keep their people kind of behooving on their own currency, but people like to make money, and then when they make money, they're able to pull that money into normal currency, and or maybe even stable coins, but they still take that money and spend it in their country. So I just don't understand why countries want to stop other people from making money and then not allow it to circulation. Anyways, it bothers me. Okay, so I want to actually do a new cycle here with what we're doing. So, because I want to give you guys more alpha. That's really it. So I'm looking at certain things when it comes to crypto, and one of the things I've been looking at is honestly checking out kind of what's trending, what's actually out here talking. So I'm coming up here and I'm going to start looking at a lot of these things like gainers and losers. You know, like if we see a good top tier crypto that is pumping, right, and then it sells off, right, for losers or gainers, you know, one of those things we can look at is literally seeing what's moving and what's a good buy as of right now, right? So obviously, StartNet is I got an echo. Sorry. All right, okay, that's better. So, oh, there it's back. Yeah, it's okay. We'll just deal with it. All right. Like Python Network is one of those ones that I was looking at a while back ago. It was a short one. It was, you know, top 100, but it's been picking up quite a bit. So I wanted to check this out here, as well as obviously Polygon has been doing good. But I'm gonna pull this up here. PYTH. Boom, boom. So it's a new segment that I've been looking at to simply be looking at. Hey, is that? Do you know that I'm gonna echo? Tom? So
Yo, sorry.
Oh, hey, yeah, I've got an echo. You got an echo as well.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Oh, better. Okay, it went away. Great. Oh, perfect. All right, so popular or trending. So these are some of the things I was looking at this morning. But one of the things I wanted to look at was, and I just had it in my head, and it went away. Python, or Pyth. So PYTH. Let's pull this up here. PYTH. PYTH. Certain things that potentially could be moving. And I am frozen. There we are. Come on. PYTH. And many of you know that if you have any AT&T here in the States, many of you have actually been dealing with like no network for them. So it's one of those things I would always sit there and be like, So the reason why I'm bringing up Pyth here is literally because from a standpoint here, the sell-off, where could we capture the next push-up from here? And I was looking at this. Now, I don't do fundamentals, right? But as I was looking at this, I definitely saw we had that 8-period moving average sitting right here. And we're having a sell-off here. So I was looking at this going, this might be something, it'd be a good little, we hit all-time highs, okay? And now it's coming back down to this level here. And especially when it comes to major coins, right, that if they start to pump.
Sorry, Pedro,
right, like
what was the name of that one that you're just looking at?
PYT. It's Pyth Network.
Pyth.
It's about 100. Yeah, it's about 100. It's about 100 million or 95 mil market cap here. And I was sitting there going like, you know, that's not bad. You know, it's not bad at all. At least volume being traded. And actually, let me pull up their market cap here. Market cap 24. Market cap. Yeah, not 100 million. I apologize. It's about 500 or about 800 million. 850 mil. Apologize, but it's one of these top ones that we could see a pump because it does have a it will come back down. We're going to see it go from 50 cents to 45-cent area here. You have a good demand zone here, and this is on multiple time frames. So for me, I'm sitting there looking at this going, this is a nice little area that we could see a pump right in this level, and seeing a pump also off that 50-period moving average is another area that I would look. So this is the other part right here. And we'll go to the week, which is in this area. Wow, that's weird. I shouldn't have done that. We'll just play. So between here and this level here, these are decent areas where you can be buying. So for me, I'm definitely looking on this one right here, and then also down in this level here for buyback for myself. because we should see a decent pushback up with this. I don't know them. I'm not a fundamental guy. Looking at the chart itself, this is looking like a decent push because it does have all-time high here, and it's actually selling off with small amount of volume for seller pressure. So when I was looking at that, as we were pushing up, we saw a lot of defense against this area. And then this part right here, where you're not seeing a lot of sell pressure coming compared to that you saw here. So this is one of those things that I'm sitting there going, you know what? Most likely when it comes back to these other areas, we should see a decent push here. And so I'm going to pick one of these a day just for us to look at, to check out, and then for us to look at. Now, obviously, we've done Stark, top losers. We went over that yesterday of potentially, you know, the sell-off of it. So I do expect to see it's a continued sell-off with it, but it's not a bad thing. It's just, again, you're capitalizing on people taking profits, right, of the big huge push, and they gave out a lot of coinage. How much did they give? Like $1 billion?
Starknet?
Starknet.
We'll just call it a shit pile.
Yeah. So you could see there that people are definitely taking that, and they're taking profit there. So it's not a bad thing. You just want to capture when it comes back and we start to see a consolidation and then a push back up. So let's go ahead and go here for Stark. But these are these little things I want to start bringing up. So we'll have one or two of these every day now that we go through. Just little things that I'm looking at, I'm peeping to see what's actually happening. As again, top gainer here. And then the other part is most visited on what do you call why am I forgetting what it's called now? On CoinMarketCap. This is something you want to be paying attention to, simply because, like, look, Nordic, Honk was one of those things that are being visited quite a bit, and these will let you know where potential, if we're seeing coins dropping down, not being visited as much, right, then most likely we're going to see a consolidation or a potential sell-off, right, that aren't necessarily being looked at. And let's say we'll take a look at 30, right, which is Terra Luna. All of a sudden we see it jump to 20, right? Well, obviously that means that people are going to be wanting to buy this, so you'd want to get in before it reaches the peak here. And so it's one of those things you want to look at. Now, I was checking out Honk earlier today.
Honk?
Sit there and Honk.
I've never even heard of Honk.
Honk, right? Well, it's one of the top. It's literally looked at of all the coins right now. Honk is literally the one that is like the second, and it's been up now a couple days. So it was one of those things. I'm like, people are looking at it, and you can see over the last few days, it's pushed up, right? It shot up, consolidated, shot up again. Today, it was still at the top, and then the next one that came in was, and we can bring this up too. This was actually a little lower on the scale. Come on. Let's look at Nordic. So NRK. Let's look at this.
NRK, another one I have no idea. NRK.
Yeah. Again, this is more for just a quick little alpha. Get some cash to come in. NRK. Nordic. USD. Got a little bit of a pump over here the last few days, and now they're starting to see a sell-off. But
actually, where'd they come down from? There looks like some big. That was a launch, and the insider said, "We're out. we're taking the money and we're leaving. Thank you very much. Goodbye."
But a little bit of alpha here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this one. But I'm using this as an example. Nordic had been one of those ones that have been looked at throughout the last couple of days. You can see, like, if you captured this on Monday, you could have got at least a 2x from here. So I'm just trying to bring a little bit more alpha to our guys here.
Absolutely.
So
what it's about.
You know, so they can come.
Give them a reason to come back.
Exactly. Looking at what is Pedro looking at today. And again, you guys can bring up certain ones too. So you can do the same thing. Go on CoinMarketCap, go through, click on visiting what's trending, right? Start, I'm obviously with Jasmine Coin. What's going on?
Derek, thank you very much for the super chat, ladies and gentlemen. Derek Breland in the house, otherwise known as Kaching, depending on where in the world, which computer he logs in from. Sorry if that echoed. I seem to have a couple of audio sources going here. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the super chats. We really appreciate it. It helps things along here. We don't solicit them too much. But it does help along, and eventually it's going to help promote the channel and help go to buy some new studio stuff. Because we're trying to be a real group here, trying to get the real people in to continue the good candidates to be on our show for interviews. I don't just mean projects. I mean people like we've had Caitlin Long on the show. I don't know if you guys have known that. We had a guy named Patrick Dougherty on our show. He was a lawyer here in Chicago. Well, I'm not in Chicago right now. He lives down the street from me. Got to talking about stuff, and he revealed that he was on the air while interviewing him. He revealed he was the lawyer that took Coinbase to the SEC, in which the SEC famously said, "Come on in and register." So they went to the SEC to register, and the SEC said, "Get out," just like the meme of that old guy, "Get out." And his famous line he used on our show is, "We got rug pulled. Coinbase got rug pulled by the SEC." And I had him say that on the air. So we got good quality stuff here, and every time you guys Snapchat, super chat that stuff, we bank that, and it's going to go into improving the channel. So thank you very much, Derek and Chuck, our lead super chatters. We really appreciate it. And Pedro and I we can't believe that we started a show that people actually watch.
I can't believe we actually.
You guys have been drinking too much out there if you're watching our show, and two, and pay us for. We really appreciate it. We're sincere about that.
Yeah.
And I try to be genuine up here. I talk about my life as it really is. I don't make up stuff like these other guys. We're like, oh, I'm just Lambo Man and Moon and all this kind of stuff. Pedro and I just tell you like it is, and we have a good time doing it. So. Thank you very much. Lord Baltimore says, this is a great show. Thank you very much, Lord Baltimore. So I'll give you the cultist chant for that. My sound was rerouting through my TV in the house, too. I was wondering why it was like a stadium echo effect in here. But it was only for the special effects. It wasn't for my mic, so I didn't notice it. We'll put that on mute. If you guys could see the complicated system, I guess. People go stream, and they're like, oh, we use StreamYard or Restream. We just click the button and stream, and stream from my phone while I'm walking around. Oh, no, none of that. That's no. Striking does things way too complicated for that. But we put on a professionally produced show, so that only crashes about once a month.
And but here's the thing: we also can do a lot of things as well, right?
Right.
We can do a lot of things down, let's say, StreamYard, a couple other, like if you just look at the studio itself, we literally have 5 or 6 windows that we can actually put up. They actually look good. It doesn't look like it's weird. So.
And I can use my wonderful Stream Deck device. It's so wonderful. I don't know if how many of you guys out there have a Stream Deck device, but once you learn how to use it and it interacts with your software, it just makes life so easy. And I got these little nice things scrolling over there. I'm trying to get, to be honest, I'm trying to build this a little bit more cyberpunkish because I'm into that right now. So, and I'm trying to write a script so that when Pedro starts talking about, and if any of you guys are good at scripts at pulling API stuff from the various sources, what I want to be able to do is type into a spreadsheet, Google Spreadsheet, because Google Spreadsheets can power my graphics here. And not just have the name come of it like the Nordic over there, but also have it immediately pull up its market cap and all that type of stuff. So I could have that on the graphics too. So as soon as I type in Nordic or whatever it is, the symbol comes up and its market cap and its up or down stuff comes up right away to make it nice and easy for Pedro for viewers to see what Pedro's talking about. Anyway, always need help with that stuff.
I agree. It's very sad.
Ooh, what chart is that?
This is Grinder.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is Grinder.
That Grinder?
Yes, that Grinder. I had a friend of mine just sent me this going, look at them. They're like, they're kind of pumping.
Grinder is pumping. Now,
yeah.
You can be whatever persuasion you want. Nobody on this that watches our channel cares. I don't. Well, if you do, you shouldn't care about that. But the fact that Grindr is pumping right now is something you can laugh at.
But here's the thing. So my buddy sits there and goes, because I really respect him a lot. He's a great trader. He's probably one of the best traders I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he puts me to shame. Okay, like the guy trades, he makes probably $400,000 or $500,000 a day, realistically, right? And so look at this. And this is no joke when I sit there and say this. Look, he says this is late stages of market development when a company that's completely based off of basically sex, outside of porn, but it's not, because they say that it's not, but it is literally starting to pump. And he goes, most likely we'll see this thing push up and create all-time highs here, and it's just I'm just like, dude, that's nuts. And so I had to look it up. So forgive me for he just
Grindr is pumping.
To quote, this is late stages of this market, I believe. Is what he said. The late stages. So
I don't know if you're looking at the studio feed, Pedro, but
oh no, bro. Dude, no.
Grindr was pumping. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the quality commentary you get by listening to the DYOR Media Network.
So here we go. Let's check out some of our local favorites here. All right. So I talked about yesterday.
Thank you, Space Cat. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's huge, man.
Chuck finally getting the jokes. For those of you that were watching and not just listening, there was an additional joke that you probably didn't get. Dara says Grindr is LinkedIn for metal workers, right? No. Space Cat gonna get his pump
on. Oh, okay. We definitely went downhill. I should have done it. I was hoping quickly I could just pull it up and just be like,
that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's talk about Caspa here. Caspa is showing some pretty good strength, bouncing off of that 8-period moving average. As we're going down, we're seeing selling pressure fly off and seeing it kick back up. So I do expect us to see a nice little push up here over the weekends. As you can see, supply is definitely there's too much demand here. People are buying this back, so it's really interesting to see what's happening here. Either we'll consolidate for this week or see for the next couple of days a push back up. So it's going to be really interesting to see as this continues up. Let's check out NetZ here.
All right, NetZ in the house. Drano, you've been waiting for it for all this time. LeBron James for Drano. I love that. LeBron James. I'll do it again.
LeBron James.
I can't hear it. We can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear the special effects?
Yeah. Can you guys hear him saying LeBron James?
I might not have it pumped over into your, let's see, cable. My voice meter set up. For those of you guys that can really use voice meter, here, you should probably be able to hear it now.
LeBron James.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I just didn't have, I have a mix minus feed going up here so you don't get an echo and I keep it simple. I just forgot to turn it back on. And earlier when it was echoing, you heard it echoing, that was just because my TV here, you only heard it in your ear. It wasn't out to the great world.
You got to text me in the background saying, hey, it's going to echo for you. So I at least know what's going on.
I didn't know it.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right. So NetZ over here, we're seeing this a bit of a sell-off here, which I talked about here. Little bounce back, and to see it kind of come down here. I don't want to see any type of resistance though, simply because this can act as a resistance down the road if we see it sell off as basically resistance, because if we see another sell off here, this area here will become some type of hard resistance. And I want to see that. I want to see NetZ push back up because I know you guys are a good community and you guys are doing a lot of work. So I want to see that for you guys. But we have a decent amount of volume coming in. So if we can continue this volume of buyers stepping in at this level, then definitely we'll bounce back into this sideways pattern here, and then hopefully create new higher highs. But I would expect us though to come down a little bit further, down into that 8, 9, to that or the 0.08 to the 0.07 area. Check out Ravencoin.
Wait, hold on. Hold on a sec. Let's go to let's hit Operation Phoenix. Oh, look at that! I goofed that up.
Alrighty.
Let's hear Operation Phoenix. So we've got a little bit of a correction going on in Operation Phoenix, but I wanted to talk about it because you told us what was going to go on with Operation Phoenix.
Yeah. Operation.
It's still a fantastic chart. I mean, it's not like but they just had a. We'll just call it I'll just use the secret French term that nobody likes to say on the air. Dick face. Dump a big sell off at once out of their wallet, and what happens is when not to go on a sidebar, but the Operation Phoenix is one of those. Not a lot of coins do this. They have liquidity pools in multiple places, so there's an arbitrage bot that works back and forth between them. And when you sell off a giant, like here, a giant amount, it doesn't allow the arbitrage bot to do its job, so you get a worse price. If you sell a little bit, and then the arb bot brings the price back up because it buys from it sells at the other one and buys the other ones to equalize the price, brings the price back up, then you sell a little bit again, arbitrage bot does its job, blah, 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 and you essentially pull money out of both liquidity pools. But what this guy did is he just dumped it, and then the community bought back. You can see from their chart here, the community said, no, we're not dealing with that. We're buying the dip. And then he sold off a big chunk again, and kind of was a stick it in your face. And those are the people. You've heard me, if you've watched my show since 2021, when I first started talking about this. I hate you people. I hate you people with all my heart that do that. That I actually spoke to someone once and said, I love putting that big I love accumulating and putting that red candle so people know it was me. I'm like, what kind of jerk face are you that wants that you want to know? It's like knowing that everyone in your neighborhood knows that you're the guy that hurts cats. You know.
Yep. Or little children.
Yeah, or little children. Right. It's the same that's right. You are we're on Epstein's Island, weren't you? That you, Mr. Red Candle seller there. Like we said, it's everyone's money. It's your money. You want to sell it. But remember, these are community projects. It's not like stock markets that have 100% liquidity, and for every dollar that there is of book value, there's you can sell it and get your money. These are based on small portions of liquidity of LP that everyone in the community owns, and you can go on BSC and see how much a percentage of that community you own. And when someone's just irresponsibly sells like that, it just drives me crazy. Drives me crazy to no end at all. Especially because they get a worse price. They lose money. The guy lost tons of money. If he was one of those emergency stake withdrawal guys, he loses 25% for that. Then he loses 10% in sales tax. That's 35%. And then he loses, because he didn't let the RBot do his job, he can lose another 2.5% to 10% depending on the spread between the two liquidity pools. That's an amazing amount of money just thrown away because he's just panicked. Drano says the NetZ community won't do that. I hate to disagree with you. But we got to tell it like it is. Every community has these people. Yeah. Every community, can't get away from it. And I talked to one guy on the show once. He came over, and unfortunately his partner leaned over his shoulder and said, "How much is that wallet worth?" And basically made him sell it right there. And he dumped like $50,000 of this project, and it just wrecked the chart. It was right when it was starting to moon, and it just wrecked the chart. And people saw that it was awful. It was awful. It never recovered, and they ended up having to do a version 2 contract relaunching to get rid of that bad chart, and they never recovered. So peoples, don't do that. Be responsible. Know what an RBot does. If you're investing a lot of money in a project, understand the project. Do your research. If there's two liquidity pools, that means there's an arbitrage between the two. Sell some in one place, sell some in the other. You'll get a better price. Or sell in one place, wait for the RBot to do its job. It just, losers. Losers!
Well, here's the thing, and I bring this up again, right? Like, maybe are they selling the whole entire bag?
Yeah, they're getting out.
Okay.
I was
Nice.
over in the Operation Phoenix room while you were talking before, listen or reading the conversation, and we have a very good guy who tracks the whales, and if they're good sellers or not, and has a spreadsheet and it has colors on it, whether they sell responsibly, dump, or whatever, and it's really good. It's good. But anyway, still, the chart overall, from my perspective, just as if you were someone coming into this, and you look at the daily chart, still looks pretty good. Looks like a good chart. I don't know what time frame you got up there, Pedro.
Yeah, so this is actually the daily chart. So it actually came down to the area that we talked about. We had
Right. That was my point to bring this up, because it came another project, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to interrupt you, Pedro, again, but
That's very good.
it's another project on today's show that did exactly what Pedro said it was going to do the other day. Really. I mean, this chart was pumping. Guys were putting, literally a guy bought $150,000 worth, staked it up in this green area up here, and Pedro's like, it's going to come back down here. A bunch of the guys are like, not good if it comes down there. And Pedro's like, that's what I'm reading from the chart. What's it going to do? And it just did.
Yeah. But here's the thing. But the thing that's nice is there's not a big seller wick. It was one seller. And then this right here is a good sign that buyers are stepping in, right? And then you'll get, like, it should look like a something like this. We should see something like this, right? They've got a good community. They're going to buy this back. This guy sells it off. He sold it off in an area where there are a bunch of buyers sitting. So that's not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing, right? See this right here? That means people sold off. People came back in, right? Pushed it back up, right? I said, and honestly, we hit our point. So we should be in on it. Remember, we were going to put $1,000 into this. We'd want to put $400 right here, and then the rest of the $600 right here, and be able to play that in our portfolio now. So
all right, let's do that.
So we should have something right there. And I said we want to wait until it gets down to here, so we're good. On that aspect,
let's see, in our DYOR Live portfolio, our paper trading portfolio, we do not own Operation Phoenix, and so we're going to buy it now. And note for you Operation Phoenix guys, this is just paper trading, so it's not going to affect the chart. But we were going to allocate $1,000 to it. So tell me what price did we hit?
Yeah, so I would say normally the way I play it, whenever I get into it, I want to, if it keeps going down, I'd want to get down at the lower levels, and we could sit there and pull up the 5-minute chart, because I'll show you here. All right, so you can see we sold off right here. Okay, so you see how it put that nice little wick in? This is where we'd want to get in. So we don't have got. I want to see something like this on a 5-minute, 15-minute chart, where we get this. We would have got it, and once it went open, let me look at the open. We would have bought in at 0.07505. It's right there. So that's where it would have came in, because this type of candles, that's kind of what I look for. And then so there's people buying it, which is good. You can see right in this level here, it pushed up. So boom, pushed up, boom, came in. The dude sold off. Yeah, man, that's not a bad area. So the next spot then should be, we should see it come back and try to fill that gap
what
level
price?
here.
At what price? 7 cents? 7.
Oh, give me 1 second here.
What was our mark? I should write these things down.
Sorry, 0.05. Excuse me, not 0.05. 0.07505.
7505. All right, so that means we bought 6,700 tokens there on, we'll just say on today.
Yep.
All right, so now I need
$400. $400 worth, right?
Yeah, I did $400 worth.
Okay. Yeah, all right, perfect.
So I got to, now I've got to sell some tether here to cover that. $400. Sell 400. All right. All right, so now our portfolio, ladies and gentlemen, our portfolio. Dara has a good one. Pedro Damas. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Damas sees all, knows all. I like that. I like that. I've been looking for another name for Pedro.
No.
We for those of you new, we when Pedro talks we started out doing 5 minutes of Pedro. And when we first started out, we actually recorded it ahead of time, and I would just play it during the show. And so I called it Cinco de Pedro, so five of Pedro. And in the U.S. we celebrate Cinco de Mayo a lot. It's not really any special date for the Mexican community. It's more American drinking date. But
it's like St. Patty's.
Right, it's like St. Patrick's Day. Just another reason to get drunk. But I thought Cinco de Pedro worked well. But now we might have to call it time for Pedro Damas, and I could play that chanting music again.
I don't know, because then it puts way too much pressure on me, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm still going to tell you the charts how it is, but, All
right, so we've added, let me bring up my chart, the portfolio here. Where is it? Here. All right, the DYOR Live portfolio is starting. We started with a $25,000 cash infusion from our fake sponsor, Crypto.com.
Thank you, Crypto.com.
Right, thank you, Crypto.com parody account. And currently our best performer right now is Jasmy. We're up. We invested $1,000, and we're up $4,000 in it. I don't know if you can see this. It's really small here, but BNB has been good to us. We're up $1,000 in BNB. Jasmine, we're up $4,000 on $1,000 investment. Dimension, we're up $1,000 investment. We're up $330. That's good. Mainnet C, we invested $1,000, and at one point we were up a lot, but now we are only up $200, but still up is good. Operation Phoenix, we just invested 400. I guess I know what, I made a mistake. I invested $487.
We actually need to take profit here on Jasmy here.
Time to sell it?
No, not sell the whole entire thing, because it can continue. But we want to take profit. We want to take about 60% profit of right now. Put that back in, and then we let the 40% happen to run. So 60% should be about $2,400, correct? I believe, because we have about $4,000.
Oh, unfortunately it calculates. I got to tell it the quantity first. How many, let's see, let's just start with.
All right. So while you do that, I'll go into the reason why. All right. Because we should have pulled profit. Actually, you know what? We should have pulled profit at 0.018 is where we should have pulled the 60% profit. Is where we should have.
What's our total amount in Jasmy? We got 5,400, so I need to sell. But 60% or 40 pen?
60%.
All right, so that's 25. It's about about 3,000. All right, 3,000. So 1,500. So let's just say 1,900. There. Okay. We'll sell 190,000 Jasmys at 16.14, or
no.
What was the price?
No, so price should be 0.18, or what is it? 0.1815, because it would have been the top part of this. We would have caught this, and once it came back down into, that's where we would have had our sell order sitting.
All right, let's add that on. All right, so I'm selling that. Add the transaction. So now I have to move it back into Tether. How much was? Oh fuck! Pardon my French. Buy some Tether. Transactions, transaction history, view transactions. Oh, I did the buy instead of the sell. Tom, you idiot. Let's remove that transaction. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The excitement here has got me screwing things up. I did buy again. All right, the price was 1815. 815. And quantity was, I don't know, 150,000. What was it? No, 175,000. Yeah, we'll go with 175,000. So let's see. That transaction sold. Now I go back to Tether and buy some Tether back. I wish they just had a transfer thing, like a fake swapper. There probably is a fake swapper somewhere here. Yeah, transaction buy. All right. We're back to our portfolio's worth 31,000, almost 32,000 bucks, and we've got $20,000 in cash. So, ladies and gentlemen, where should we put that $20,000? We got to buy something else. Got to diversify this.
We will. We just like that's how, we've taken. How much money have we taken? Think about like let's look at it like from an actual standpoint of.
In profits, we've only sold Bitcoin. We sold We made $551 with Bitcoin, and Jasmy. We've taken. We just took 3,000 out, but we only invested 1,000. So we've taken 2,000. So we've taken $2,500 in profits. We've taken 10% of our initial $25,000 stake in profits.
Okay, so we've had at working cost. How much have we had working for us altogether? The 20,000?
No, we've only had working for us. We've never had more than 7,000 or 8,000. No, more. We've only the lowest we got was $18,000 in cash. So we only ever had $7,000 working for us.
All right, so let's say 7,000, and how much have we made?
We've pulled out in profit $3,500.
All right, so 7,000, and we've made that's and only in a couple months, not even a couple months, in basically a month.
Yeah, we basically made 50% on our money, and there's still money in there. There's still. Yeah. We didn't sell all the Jasmy. We sold all our Bitcoin, but we didn't sell all the Jasmy. We still have $2,600 in there and $1,000 of that. We still have $1,600 in profit in Jasmy.
Yeah. And our stop is just right below where it's sitting. So if it does fall back, we're okay. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is this. I would love to be able to sit there, us playing this, and legitimately like looking at it and sit there and say, because ultimately we were in BNB. We got in way too early, and if we would have waited, we would have actually been much higher. Because remember, like it sold off like I think it was 30%, 20%. And then we're like, oh, dang, we're down X amount. And it's like, just wait, it'll come back up. But if we would have waited and just said, hey, let's chill right here and we'll buy in down here, we would have been up much more. All that to say is this. I'm trying to show people here how you would manage because here's the thing. You can get into it. How many people here have been in a good trade within a project and you're up literally thousands of dollars? And you're like, this thing's going to go to the moon, right? And all of a sudden, it starts to sell. If you're like, oh, it's going to go back. And then you double down. Right? No, that's not the way you do this. I want to see our people rich. I want to see them in the next bull run, right? Not this bull run, but in the next bull run with $4 or $5 million. Right?
Well,
like $4 or $5 million.
You told me about that, Pedro, and it stuck in the back of my head. I saw Operation Phoenix pumping. And they got good stuff coming, and I'm not shilling them or anything like that. From the fundamental point of view, it's going to do well over time. And so I was thinking of buying in, but I was in profits, or I am in profits. As they say, I am an investor in Operation Phoenix. Not telling you to buy it. They have not paid me anything or anything like that. I didn't. I was like, well, if I buy in more now and it goes down, then I'm in losses for my entire investment. And that's not a good plan. So I'll just sit and wait before I invest. And sure enough, it's coming down into your zone. So I'm glad I didn't buy anymore.
So, like, just little things like that, right? Like, it's on how. Because here's the thing. Now, if it goes down even further, right, where I would like to go, right, if it goes down to a certain point, you're going to see a bounce at that level. So you buy in at that level. Let's say it does a 1x or a 2x. Take some profit of that, okay? And then you put it into another moon bag, or you hold on to it in cash, okay? And if that thing skyrockets, great. Let it skyrocket. Don't touch it, right? If you want to add into it, let's say it makes a new all-time high and comes back down into an area that I say, oh, this is a good area to buy. Well, now you're able to add in immediately at that level where it is coming down into where there are buyers sitting. Then it goes back up. And as it goes back up, then now you're in more profit and you take a little bit more out, right? Because you made new all-time high. You buy in on you sell in a green candle as it's moving up. Okay? So you're selling to buyers, so you're not hurting the project. Okay? And then what happens is you have this good little you're being a trader, but responsible trader to help out the community. And at the same time, you create more money for yourself. So when it sells off again, which a good healthy chart is supposed to do, then what happens is you can put more money into the actual system that you like. So you're always ahead.
Sorry about that. I know. Cut her in the background again. Mr. B, we can't put Stag in our thing because it doesn't come up on CoinMarketCap. I know it's tracked by CoinMarketCap, but because you're not officially listed by it, it doesn't come up in their things. And I'm just using I could use a spreadsheet, but I'm using CoinMarketCap's portfolio thing to do this. So sorry, can't buy it. But Pedro, our portfolio is doing well. We're coming to the end of the show here. It's been a good show. There's 2 hours have flown by. Well, an hour and 45 minutes today. Flown by like crazy. Andy says, Striking, give that dog a bone. This dog, it's a little yapper. All it does is choke on those things. And Mr. B says, when is Stag going on CMC? The CMC doesn't have that effect anymore of really pumping the price. It used to. Some projects it does if it's totally unknown, so maybe it'll help you a lot. But it certainly helps with people tracking you. People have spreadsheets now that they have APIs and they track you. And if you're not listed in it, they're like, well, you're not going to fit in my tracking system, so I'm not going to buy you. It's just a good thing. It's a good thing to get on CoinGecko and CMC because so many people rely on their APIs to pull the price out into their spreadsheets and stuff like that. When I learned to do that, I was like, that's amazing. My spreadsheet would update in real time. It was wonderful. But today we spoke about the Worldcoin. That was the main topic of the day, and the evilness of one major central, especially a business, acquiring so much power around the world. The power to determine whether you're a person or a non-person. Because there is no important business in the world that doesn't have a government agent working for it at some point. Like the people that, I don't mean like the Amazon or Apple and that type of stuff. Well, maybe Apple, so they can try and break the encryption and that type of stuff. But in things like that, in which identities and history, credit reporting agent, all these types of stuff, in which if your story is in there, then a government can insert a spy somewhere. But if your story is not in there, then you can't even go buy a beer. And never mind buy, perhaps maybe not even be able to use your central bank digital currency that's coming someday. So in our mind right now, the concept is a good thing, that digital IDs for people that to make things easier and more transparent online, or at least more efficient without having to give away your private information. I like all that stuff. But the way they're doing it, not a good plan. Not a good plan at all.
We also forgot to mention Africa. Africa is looking to definitely push forward and encapsulate CBDCs and also regulate on a real level stablecoins. Yeah, right. South Africa.
Yeah. We'll hit up on the African continent here. We'll get the Royal Q to talk about what's going on in Zimbabwe and stuff.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna. If you've heard me talk about it before, we're gonna do one of these weeks. We're gonna do an around the world thing where we bring in. We focus on an area of the world for that entire show, and then the next day, kind of like where in the world is striking balls type thing. But I'm not going anywhere. Let's have a neat virtual studio. But anyway, that's our show for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that all of you joined in. I've not been able to get any statistics on it at all because the YouTube analytics page is El No Worko today. But we've apparently had a bunch of people. We had the SAG crew on. We had a couple Operation Phoenix guys. And a lot of the usual suspects came in today. I really appreciate that. And, of course, Pedro and I certainly appreciate the super chats that you guys launch onto us. That's always appreciated. and hope to see that continue. Maybe we'll get big enough. We'll have to have a Patreon and that type of stuff, but not there yet. Not there yet.
So here's the other question that I have. A lot of the guys over on LinkedIn, if you guys could do us a favor, come over and just re-listen to the stuff on YouTube. I know it sounds kind of a little cheesy and stuff, but like you play it in the background, just because we're really trying to build up that YouTube stuff, and if we can really get some big views going on as we're moving, we can really bring on a lot bigger guests. And that's my goal is to really bring on really big guests. It'd be awesome to bring on Vitalik, right? Saying, hey, look, we want to know what's going on. And if we got, right now we've got a good set, but if we can get 10, 15,000 people watching, all of a sudden.
Thank you, Drano.
That was absolutely. Thank you so much for that. But I'm just saying, keep it going. We appreciate it. Every view helps.
It does, ladies and gentlemen. As they say, thank you very much. Thank you on behalf of everybody. Tomorrow we're going to be dark. The little yapper you just heard has a important appointment with the old four-legged doctor. So I've got to go handle that with Mrs. Striking, because it's not a nice visit to the old vet. So we'll be off tomorrow. We do have to plan a full rant Friday one of these days, but we'll be back to you next week. With at the usual times. Look forward to it. Look forward to everything. Thank you to everyone that tuned in today. Thank you for another amazing show, guys. Says Matt, really appreciate it. I'm happy to be the patron saint of Stag today, but my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the Digital Media Network, and so glad to host another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. We'll see you next week, so be there.